Hi everyone. I know it's been quite a while, probably coming up on 8 months or a year since I've posted a video. Sorry about that, life's been very busy, but I am recently retired, so I should have a little more time for this. I know what you're thinking, retired? Really? Yeah, really, and I highly recommend it. You should try it if you have an opportunity. So I'm going to try to stay pretty busy, but I should have more time to do some of these videos. So today I'm just going to do an update video since it's been so long since I've posted a video. So show you each of the tarantulas, the size of the tarantulas. I'll probably have before too long a couple videos showing cleaning up, because a couple of them are at the point where I really should redo their enclosure, put fresh substrate in, and clean it up well. I got one of the Xterra enclosures for my HMAC. I'll show you that. I'm really happy with it, and it's made it its home pretty well. But I'll show you each one of the tarantulas and how they're looking right now. I'll show you my dubia roach colony, which is doing very well, probably breeding faster than I want, but still doing pretty well. And I'll show you what I'm feeding them, because it's household stuff you can get anywhere. You can buy special mixtures, but they seem to be thriving on what I'm giving them, so I'll show you that. So let's get to it. I'll take you over to the cabinet, and we will start looking at these tarantulas. So here's the enclosure, or the cabinet, and I have my Brachypalmibomi down there. Lacidor parahabana is there. The Grammostola rosa is there. That's the new Echoterra enclosure for my Heteroscrodria maculata. And up here is my newest addition. It's a juvenile. It is the Lampropalma violaceiapes, I think is how they say it. Violaceiapes is the Singapore blue. So I'll take each one out. We'll start with the Brachypalmibomi down here, the Mexican fireleg, and I'll get you a good look at him. So here he is. He's probably 3 inches, 3.5 inches. Really nice coloring on him. And like they say with this species, he is a tremendous hair flicker. Doesn't look too bad right now because he's recently molted, but he still, every time I feed him, he flicks hair at me. The interesting thing with him is it's just with this molt, at the size he is now, that he has started to take the feeder, the roaches, and go after them the second I drop them in there. Before, they used to, if they ran by him, he scurried away, and eventually he would go and get them. Now, you drop him in there, he pounces right on them. So he's obviously at a size now where he feels a little more confident in doing that. But coloring is really nice. Molted probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, but he's doing really well, coming along very nicely. So that is my Brachypalmibomi, my Mexican fireleg. And now we'll move on to the next one. I'll show you my Grammostola rosea, which is the Chilean rose hair, or some people say Chilean rose hair. I'll show you that one next. All right, here's the Grammostola rosea, the Mexican, or not Mexican, the Chilean rose hair. He's doing very well, very healthy. He's one of the ones that I'm going to be changing out the substrate and redoing it. It's been a while since it's been done, and just like to have it fresh, not let it, I let it go maybe 4 to 6 months, and it's right up in that area. He's big enough. He has his own water dish, and right now, one of the things with these species is they can go, and they seem to do it just randomly for whatever reason. It isn't necessarily related to molting, but they'll just stop eating. They'll stop feeding. They can go sometimes a month or more, and they simply won't eat. Not because they're going to molt. They simply don't do it. And he's in one of those spells now. It's been about a month. But as you can see, I keep the water in there. and he's healthy. Nothing wrong with him. Abdomen's full. He's healthy. He's just in one of those modes right now where he's not eating. So what I do now is about every week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I put one in. He's still not taking it. Eventually he'll eat again, but for now he's not. But he's one of the ones, good size container for him that I just got at a pet store. I took his hide out because he never used it. He would just fill it full of dirt and never used it. So not sure if anybody has any suggestions about maybe they stay out like that. I mean, I've read that a lot of times they don't use the hides, but I don't know. It just seems like they should have something they could go into. So if you have a suggestion on that, pop it to me in the comments. But there is my Chilean rose hair, my Grammostola rosea, and now I will show you my Singapore blue, the juvenile, if I can get you a good look at him and his enclosure. Okay, here's his enclosure, the Singapore blue, Lampropelma violaceiapes. This is he's a juvenile, probably 1.5 inches or so now. You can see him moving down there. I can't tell. I don't really see any blue on him anywhere. Maybe you can tell. I'd love to find out if it's a male or female. I'm starting to think maybe it's a female. I was hoping to have gotten a male, but looks like I may have gotten a female. But very healthy, as you can see. Made a quite the webbing and nesting for itself in here. And again, this is not one yet at the size it is now. It doesn't go after the prey right when I put it in there. I haven't seen it do it once yet. I'll drop it in, but at some point it ends up going after it and getting it. And it's healthy. It's growing. It's molting fairly regularly, so it's doing well. I don't see yet any really of the blue on it, so I'm a little more worried. I got a female here. I think it's or is it the other way around? It might be a male, and maybe the male doesn't have the bright coloring. I can't remember, but anyways, we'll see. We'll see what it turns out to be. But it's doing very well. All right, then I will move on next to my Lasadora parahabana, my Brazilian salmon, and I'll show you that one. So here's the Brazilian salmon, my Lasadora parahabana. He's doing very, very well. He's probably a solid 4.5 to 5 inches, I would think. So he's about half the size he's going to get to. Very, very healthy, very active, doing very well. He's a big time eater, goes right after the prey, and just really, really pretty, I think. Just nice coloring to him, and it's just going to be enormous eventually. And he's probably another one that I need to clean out the substrate. It's not in bad shape. It's just been in there for several months, and I think it's at the point where I'd like to clean it out. So again, he's doing very well, and whenever I take the lid off like that, he always comes over to this corner up on his hide that he doesn't use. That hide's too small for him, so I need to upgrade that to a little bit bigger hide for him. But he gets up on there, and I think he anticipates the insects coming in, the roaches. But there he is, and then next I will show you, if I can get a good view of him, the Heteroscota maculata, the Togo burst or starburst. I'll show you that one, and if we can see him, because he's webbed it up really well, and it's hard to always see him in there because he's mostly white. So let's see if we can see him. So here's his enclosure, the HMAC. As you can see, he's webbed it up quite nicely. There's one of the recent dubia roaches that I just put in there. And he's another one, even though he's getting to be pretty good size, I've never seen him go after his prey. He ends up, it'll be like that, and then all of a sudden it'll be gone. But he's got a little area down there that he can go down into a hide, but He mostly hangs around in the webbing. He's got his own water dish. And I'll try to show you. He is over here, right along the wall. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the glare. See if I can pick it up. He's right there, but I don't think you can really pick it up. But he's pretty. He's mostly white. Can't really get him to move, but he's getting to be good size. Yeah, I'm just not picking it up with this. Sorry about that. But as you can see, he's doing very well, and he's very healthy. So I'll try another time to get a better picture for you when he's out and about a little bit more. And now I will show you the dubia roaches and what I feed them. Alright, here's their enclosure. I got a couple little of these trays down here just because I didn't like having to clean stuff off the bottom, so I can just pull these trays out now, and they're just little plastic things I cut open so they could get up on there. I'm actually going to put a little more feed in here. You got the egg crates, and as you can see, there's lots of them as you get back in here. Plenty of these guys. Probably a couple of hundred in here altogether. So what I'm feeding them, what you see over there that looks like oatmeal, it is oatmeal. Quaker oats. These big containers, you can get at almost any supermarket. They're like a couple of bucks for a huge container of it. And it lasts quite a long time. And you just dump it in there. They eat it. That was a huge pile just a few days ago. They'll completely go through that. Over on this bin that holds the liquid stuff, we're just giving them baby food. Any type of baby food. This is apples and cherries, but I just pick up a bunch of them, put it in there. They eat it right up. And then you can see down there the water crystals, which I have a huge tub of. And I just dump water crystals on one half and the baby food on the other. I put baby food in there a couple days ago, and as you can see, it is all gone, so they're going to get some more now. But this colony is doing really well. I had some trouble with it. I was keeping it out of the enclosure and on my basement floor because I didn't want them to breed as much, but for whatever reason, getting a lot of condensation in there. It was getting these egg carts all soggy. It was smelling. Fruit flies were down in there for some reason. It was a real mess. I had to clean everything out, put them back in the cabinet where I have the heat regulated, and now it's they're doing much better, and that's not happening. So, and you can feed them from time to time. I'll put lettuce leaves in there. Don't put too many because they'll eat them pretty quick, but if you put a bunch of them in there, they can't eat them fast enough. Then they rot in there, they turn brown, they slime the thing, you get the fruit flies, it smells, you got to clean it all out of there. It's a mess. Same thing with fruit. You can put some fruit in there, but just put a little bit. If you put too much, even with a larger colony, they may not eat it fast enough, and you're going to have a mess in there. So from time to time, I'll cut an orange into four pieces, 4 quarters, and put them in there, and they eat the oranges up really good. I do that more in the wintertime because if you do it in the summertime, at least where I live here in New Hampshire, it just attracts the fruit flies and they all end up in there. So more in the winter when we're not bothering the fruit flies, I'll give them a little more fruit or a little more lettuce. But just the oatmeal, very cheap. Baby food, you know, these things are baby food. I think they're like 30 cents a piece or 40 cents a piece at the supermarket. And the water crystals. And the next time I'm going to make water crystals, I'll show you how to make them. You can buy them almost anywhere. Amazon's where I got mine. You can get a pound of water crystals for 20 bucks or something like that, and that'll last you a long, long time. A pound of water crystals. So, anyways, this is the roach colony, and they're doing really well. I just thought I'd show you quickly. I refilled this. They'll go through the baby food, a half a jar in about 2 or 3 days. So you can keep that filled. So I do water crystals on half of that and the baby food on the other. They mix in a little bit sometimes, as you see right up in there, but that's fine. I'll put a pile in here, maybe right up to the edge there. That'll last a good week and a half of the oats. But